You keep looking at your life like it's some kind of race, like you're supposed to hit every milestone by a certain age, like success has a schedule, like meaning has a deadline. But let me tell you something, you're not behind, you're becoming. You don't need to chase anyone, you don't need to match anyone. You're not late, you're learning, you're not stuck, you're being shaped, you're not slow, you're being sharpened. Every time you scroll and see someone winning, your mind whispers, they're ahead. But what you're not seeing are the nights they cried, the risks they took, the pain they hid. What you call ahead is just a different chapter. And yours, it's still being written. The lie the world keeps feeding you is that progress should be loud, that growth should be public, that if you're not seen, you're not moving. But that's not how greatness works. Real growth happens in silence. Real strength is forged in shadows. Real success grows roots long before it ever grows wings. You're not behind, you're underground like a seed. The dirt isn't your grave, it's your ground. The pressure isn't punishment, it's preparation. The silence isn't absence, it's alignment. When life buries you, it's not over, it's just beginning. You're not stuck. You're being planted, you're not invisible, you're incubating, you're not forgotten, you're being fortified. Every great story starts in obscurity. Every strong man begins in the shadows. Every king was once a servant, every champion was once overlooked. So when you look around and think, I should be further, remember, the fire you're walking through right now is the same fire that forges legends. The same darkness that broke you will build you. The same delay that frustrates you will define you. You're not falling behind. You're just walking through your foundation phase. And foundation is never glamorous. It's it's slow. It's invisible. But when the storm comes, it's the only thing that keeps the structure standing. Let everyone else rush. Let them sprint. Let them post their highlights. You build different. You move with purpose. You trust the process, because the man who learns to build in silence becomes the man who cannot be shaken in noise. The man who learns to endure obscurity becomes the man who dominates in the spotlight. Every second you spend doubting yourself is a second you could be refining yourself. Every moment you waste comparing is a moment you could be constructing. Every ounce of energy you pour into envy could be the fuel for your evolution. You're not behind. You're becoming disciplined, becoming focused, becoming patient, becoming powerful. It takes time to transform. You can't microwave mastery. You can't rush resilience. You can't fake foundation. Everything great takes time and pressure. You can't see it now, but all this struggle, all this confusion, all this waiting, and it's carving something inside you that ease never could. You're not losing time. You're learning to use it. You're not late. You're being leveled. You're not falling apart. You're falling into place. So stop rushing. Stop comparing. Stop calling your process delay. You're not in delay. You're in development. And development is divine. Because one day, and it will happen, all of this will make sense. One day, the same people who doubted you will say, how did he do it? And you'll smile because you'll know the truth. You didn't do it fast. You did it right. You trusted the process. You stayed the course. You didn't fold when it was slow. You didn't quit when it was quiet. You didn't compare when it was tempting. You built. You endured, you became, and that's why you'll win, because you weren't chasing speed, you were building strength. You ain't chasing noise, you were building foundation. You weren't chasing applause, you were building legacy. You're not behind, you're right on time, you're not delayed, you're being designed, you're not falling short, you're being stretched into your full potential. So breathe. This chapter isn't punishment, it's preparation. You are not late to your destiny. You are arriving precisely when you're ready. And when you finally step into your season, you'll realize what the process was really doing. It wasn't slowing you down. It was setting you apart. You're not behind. You're becoming. Trust the process. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Becoming isn't pretty. It's not inspirational music and clean edits. It's sweat, silence, and self-doubt. It's nights when you question everything you're doing, and mornings when you still get up anyway. Becoming looks like discipline with no applause. It looks like effort with no validation. It looks like you showing up again and again when no one is watching. Because this is where most people break, in the waiting, in the uncertainty, in the quiet years where nothing seems to move. They quit because it doesn't feel like progress. But that's the point. Becoming doesn't always feel good. Growth rarely does. Muscles tear before they strengthen. Seeds split before they bloom. Dreams break before they build. You're being stretched right now. You're being refined. Every delay is chiseling away your weakness. Every setback is sanding off your ego. Every disappointment is shaping your patience. The version of you that's coming, he can't be built in comfort. He's built through rejection, through grind, through the long, lonely process of showing up when it doesn't pay off yet. Everyone wants to be great until they realize greatness is hidden in repetition. The same workout, the same early mornings, the same sacrifice, the same isolation. That's where kings are carved. You can't see the transformation happening, but it is there, in your endurance, in your persistence, in the way you keep choosing to try again. It's not the results that prove you're becoming, it's the resistance you overcome. Every time life says stop and you keep moving, you're becoming. Every time your mind says you can't and you answer, watch me, you're becoming. Every time you fail and still choose to rise, you're becoming. Becoming doesn't mean perfecting, it means persisting. It means surviving your own doubts long enough to see what you're capable of. Let them post their wins. Let them flaunt their progress. You're building something bigger than a moment. You're building something permanent. You're building you. And that takes time. That takes solitude. That takes being misunderstood by everyone around you. Because when you're in your becoming phase, no one gets it. They'll call you distant, obsessed, strange. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. Because the man who's evolving cannot fit where he used to. You can't be a new version of yourself and live by the habits of the old one. You can't expect growth without outgrowing people, places, and patterns that keep you small. Becoming demands separation. Separation from comfort. Separation from noise. Separation from distraction. And that's what makes it lonely. That's what makes it painful. That's what makes it powerful. Because solitude isn't punishment, it's sanctuary. It's where you meet yourself without the mask. It's where you hear your real voice, not the one shaped by opinions. It's where you realize you don't need validation to keep moving. The silence you're scared of, that's where transformation happens. That's where your spirit learns to roar. Every great man you admire went through this. The world only saw the glory. They never saw the grind. They never saw the years of silence, the nights of doubt, the days of invisible work. But that's where the becoming happened. That's where the foundation was laid, brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. You can't skip this part. You can't rush it. You can't cheat it. The world gives up too soon. They want results now. They want success without struggle. But that's not how real transformation works. Real transformation demands patience. It demands resilience. It demands you to keep walking when the finish line disappears, because the finish line isn't out there. It's in here. The real victory is internal. It's mastering your emotions. It's mastering your habits. It's mastering your focus when everything screams quit. You're not behind. You're in the middle of your refinement. You're in the heat that purifies the metal. You're in the season that separates the committed from the casual. And when you come out of this, you won't just be better, you'll be different, stronger, sharper, hungrier, more focused, more fearless, more grounded. The version of you that's coming is going to look back at this phase and thank you for not quitting. He's going to thank you for believing when no one else did. He's going to thank you for trusting the process even when it didn't make sense. So keep moving, keep working, keep showing up. Because even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is happening. The process is working in silence. The foundation is forming in the dark. The roots are growing deep before the bloom appears. You are not behind. You are becoming. Every day, every rep, every quiet choice is a brick in your legacy. Don't measure progress by speed. Measure it by strength. Don't measure growth by visibility. Measure it by consistency. Because in the end, the men who win are not the ones who sprint. They're the ones who stay. Stay disciplined, stay patient, stay faithful. Trust the process, because it's not breaking you, it's building you, and then one day you'll feel it. Not a sudden miracle, not a flash of glory, but a quiet shift inside you, where everything starts to make sense. The weight that once felt unbearable suddenly feels light. The doubt that used to haunt you no longer has a voice. The fear that kept you still no longer controls your step. That's when you'll realize you didn't fall behind. You just took the long road, the real road, the road that builds men who last. Every detour, every delay, every failure, it all had a purpose. The world told you to sprint, but you learned to endure. The world told you to chase applause, but you learned to trust silence. The world told you you were behind, but the truth is, you were just becoming unstoppable, because now when you move different. There's precision in your stride. There's calm in your chaos. There's confidence that doesn't need to be loud anymore. You've seen what it takes. You've paid the price. You've bled for your peace. You've earned your strength. You don't flinch when things get hard. You lean in. You don't complain when it's dark. You adapt. You don't question your path. You command it. That's the power of becoming. It's not about the applause you gain. It's about the power you earn from within. The men who rushed ahead, they burned bright but fast. But you were built in the fire. And fire-built men don't fade. They forge. They become unbreakable. You were never behind. You were being refined. You were never lost. You were being led. You were never delayed. You were being developed. All that pain you carried, it turned into armor. All that silence you endured, it turned into focus. All that waiting you hated, it turned into wisdom. Now you walk with a stillness that speaks louder than noise. You move with discipline that doesn't depend on motivation. You act with conviction that doesn't need validation. Because now, you know that becoming isn't about proving, it's about preparing. Preparing for the life that actually fits your purpose, not your insecurities. Look back at who you were a year ago. The person who doubted, hesitated, apologized for being ambitious. That version of you didn't die. He evolved. He walked through fire and came out forged. You didn't lose anything. You gained everything that lasts: grit, patience, clarity, hunger. This is what becoming looks like. It's the transformation that slow progress hides. It's the rebirth that pain disguises. It's the strength that delay secretly gives you. And now you're ready to move with quiet aggression, ready to build with laser focus, ready to lead with unshakable calm, because you finally understand the process was never punishing you. It was preparing you for the weight of what you prayed for. The things you wanted back then, you weren't ready to hold them, but now you are. Now you've got the spine for it, the discipline for it, the peace for it. You're not chasing anymore. You're commanding. You're not proving anymore. You're producing. You're not waiting anymore. You're walking in alignment. You stopped comparing your chapter to someone else's story. You stopped letting their timeline define your worth. You stopped letting fear dictate your speed. Now every move you make is yours. Every choice you take is deliberate. Every breath you breathe is freedom. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be, becoming the man who can carry what's coming. The success that's built slowly, that's the kind that lasts, because it's rooted in struggle, because it's built on truth, because it's earned, not inherited. That's why you can trust the process, because the process never fails. It forges. So when the noise comes again, when doubt whispers again, when fear creeps in again, remember this moment. Remember who you've become. Remember how many times you wanted to quit but didn't. Remember that you are the proof. Patience wins. You are the proof that slow doesn't mean stuck. You are the proof that unseen doesn't mean unworthy. You are the proof that the process works, and when the world finally sees you, they'll think it happened overnight. They'll call it luck, timing, destiny, but you'll know it was becoming. Every quiet night, every lonely grind, every small choice. You built this, you became this, and now there's no going back. Because once a man becomes who he's meant to be, he can never shrink to who he was. So walk forward, with peace in your chest, with fire in your soul, with faith in your process. You're not behind, you're becoming. And soon the world will see what patience and pain were really building this whole time. You're not late, you're ready, you're not missing out, you're leveling up, you're not chasing time, you're on time. Because destiny doesn't rush. It waits for the man who's done becoming. So breathe deep, lift your head, and trust the process. You're not behind, you're becoming, and becoming was always the point.